A long time ago, in a quiet village called Ndolo, people had one idea and standard of beauty. The bigger, the better. If a girl didn't have thick arms, wild hips, and a round belly that bounced when she laughed, she was not considered beautiful. So, when Muna was born, slim, and even grew slimmer, the entire village agreed she was not it. Muna looks like a standing broom. The old women would say, "Who will marry a girl who has no meat on her bones?" The men laughed. Even children mocked her. They called her names like mosquito, broomstick, pencil, wire wire girl. The worst part was that nobody corrected them. Instead, adults joined in. Her mother, Mama Muna, tried to shield her with silence. Her father, who had died when she was just 8 years old, had been the only one who told her she was beautiful. Since then, it was just her mother, and the noise. But Muna never fought back. She became quiet. She walked with her head down. She wore clothes that hid her shape. She hated market days because there were always eyes staring and mouths laughing. In the village secondary school, life was not easier. The most admired girls were the curvy ones, girls like Obiageli. Obiageli had thick thighs, full cheeks, and loud confidence. She was the queen of the school. Her friends, Chidima, Awele, and Titi followed her around like shadows. Obiageli had one mission, and that was to remind Muna that she wasn't beautiful. "Muna, are you even eating at home? Maybe if you bathe in palm oil, your body will grow. Don't stand near me, you are reducing my beauty by association." The whole school laughed. Muna forced a smile and walked away. But inside, her heart was heavy. She didn't want to fight back. She just wanted to disappear. One dry afternoon, during the long holiday, a black air-conditioned van drove into Ndolo. At first, nobody cared who it was. But when the van parked at the village square, and tall women with cameras and walkie-talkies stepped out, people started gathering. They were from the fashion agency in Lagos, looking for fresh, untapped faces. This was part of a new project to discover talent in remote areas. They spoke to the village head and they walked around. They interviewed some of the chubby girls, confident girls. They even met Obiageli, who did 5 different poses and smiled like a movie star. They spoke, and as they were decided that they needed a slim model. They nodded politely and then they kept moving. Then just as they were about to leave, one of the women, tall, dark-skinned and serious-looking, saw Muna passing by with a basket of oranges. She stopped her in her tracks. "Excuse me, you. What's your name?" Muna looked around confused. "Me? Yes, you. Muna, come here." Muna walked over, shy and unsure. The woman looked at her face, her posture, her long neck, her calm pretense. "Have you ever thought of modeling?" Muna laughed. It was short and awkward. "People say I am too thin." The woman smiled. "In our world, that is not a problem. That is what we are looking for." They took her pictures, they took her contacts, found out where she lived, and then left. Muna thought that was the end of it, until 1 month later, a letter came from Lagos. she had been chosen. The whole village gathered to watch her leave. Some were shocked, some were angry, others pretended to be happy. Obiageli said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Let her go. Let's see if Lagos will feed her better." But her voice was shaky. Muna hugged her mother tightly. She was scared too. But something in her heart whispered, "This is your beginning." As the car drove out of the village, the girl they once called Broomstick had no idea her face would soon be on the billboards from Lagos to New York. 1 year later, Ndiola village was never the same. At first, the villagers didn't know what was happening. They started seeing pictures of Muna, their own Muna, on the internet, in magazines, and on TV. At Lagos Fashion Week, she worked for big brands. She was called the new face of Africa. She did interviews. She was on the cover of 4 major fashion magazines in just 6 months. People started whispering, "Is that our Muna? The one we used to laugh at? She's even fine now, no." Obiageli couldn't stand it. She unfollowed every page that posted Muna. She told people it's editing. Her face is not even that fine in real life. But deep down, jealousy was burning like hot pepper. When Muna came back to the village for the first time since her modeling journey began, the crowd was waiting. People ran to see her. Girls screamed. Boys who used to ignore her suddenly wanted to carry her bags. She wore a simple gown and a flat sandals. No makeup, no loud voice, but her presence was different. She looked confident, peaceful, and beautiful. Obiageli came out too. She tried to act unbothered. But when Muna greeted her, Obiageli said something nobody expected. "I am sorry." It was quiet, quick, but it was real. Muna looked at her. "Thank you." She said softly, "That means something." Muna didn't just come to visit. She came with a plan for the village. She opened a creative school, a place for young people in the village to learn modeling, photography, makeup, fashion design, and even content creation. She paid for sewing machines, brought stylists from Lagos to train the girls. She gave scholarships to children of women who she used to mock their mother. People called it the Broomstick Academy. At first, it was a joke. Then the name became power. Girls who once felt invisible now had dreams. Boys who never believed in art started taking photography lessons. Parents who once said, "You can't eat beauty," we are proudly sewing uniform for their children's lessons. Even Obiageli joined. She became one of the best makeup artists in the school. Her confidence returned. Not because she was the thickest girl in the room, but because she found her own lane. One evening, during the first Ndolu creative show, Muna stood on stage with her students. Lights flashed, cameras clicked, the crowd clapped. She looked out and saw her mother in the front row, smiling with pride. She saw Obiageli helping the younger girls backstage. She saw a village that once rejected her, now celebrating her. She held the microphone and said, "They said I was too thin to be seen, but look around you. We are all meant to be seen." Beauty is not one shape, one size, or one story. Beauty is knowing you belong, no matter what you have been called before. So after that, Muna won a contract as a brand ambassador for companies like Chanel, Gucci, Dior, and Prada, and her face was all over the billboards in Lagos. She was called the Slim Beautiful One. Hey besties, we have come to the end of this amazing and interesting story. Let me know your thoughts about the story in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and share to your friends. Till I come your way next time. Bye.